This entire table is full of tech. Half of it is completely real, half of it is completely fake, and right now even I can't remember which side is which without checking my notes, and I'm the one who bought all of it. Over the last month, I've bought 10 different pieces of fake tech: a fake flagship phone, fake wireless earbuds, a fake charger and cable, a fake smartwatch, a fake gaming controller, a fake Bluetooth speaker, a fake drone, a fake VR headset, a fake action camera, and a fake pair of noise-canceling headphones. And for every single one of these, I've got the genuine, full-price version sitting right next to it. Today, we're testing all 10 categories, side by side, to find out exactly how far counterfeit tech has actually come in 2026. Some of these took me weeks to track down. Some of them arrived in packaging so convincing I genuinely double-checked I hadn't been sent the wrong order. And by the end of this video, I'm going to lay all 20 of these items out in a completely random order, with zero labels, and see if real people off the street can actually tell which side is which. Let's get into it. Premise plus rules. Here's how today's going to work. For every single category, I bought the real version first at full retail price, receipts and all. Then I went hunting for the single best fake version of that exact product I could find. And I want to be really clear here, I'm not talking about the obvious dollar store garbage with the logo spelled wrong that nobody would actually fall for. I'm talking about the ones that are genuinely deliberately designed to fool you in a photo, on a store shelf, or in a marketplace listing at 2 in the morning when you're not paying full attention. Every item on this table gets exactly the same 3 tests in the same order. Does it look the same? Does it feel the same in your hands? And the one that actually matters at the end of the day, the one none of these companies can fake, does it work the same? I'm going to give each item a score out of 10 on looks and a separate score out of 10 on function, and we're going to keep a running tally all the way through the video. Whatever the final numbers are at the end, that's genuinely going to shape how I think about buying tech off marketplace listings going forward. Let's start with the one I know everybody's been waiting for, the flagship phone. This is a real flagship phone, $1,199. Bought 2 days ago directly from the store. Box still had the little authentication sticker on the plastic wrap. And this, same box, same logo, same premium matte finish on the packaging. Cost me $90 from a marketplace listing that described it. And I am quoting this directly, as brand new, sealed, grade AAA, ships same day. Let's unbox them at exactly the same time, side by side, so there's no editing trickery going on here. And honestly, the first 30 seconds are identical. Same plastic wrap with the same little pull tab. Same welcome graphic printed on the inside of the lid. Same tiny foam tray holding the cable and the paperwork underneath the phone. Pick both phones up out of the box, and at arm's length in your actual hand, I genuinely could not tell you with confidence which one is fake. Same screen size, same weight, down to a gram or two. Same camera housing on the back, same button placement, same port on the bottom. Turn them both on though, and the illusion starts collapsing almost immediately. The real phone boots into a proper setup flow, face scanning, language selection, the whole onboarding experience you'd expect from a flagship. The fake one boots into a heavily skinned operating system, dressed up to imitate the real thing as closely as possible. And credit where it's due, it's a genuinely good skin. The icons are close, the quick settings panel looks close, even the animations when you swipe between home screens are close. But the second you dig one menu deeper than a casual buyer ever would, it completely falls apart. Deep in the settings, there's a leftover diagnostics menu that has nothing to do with the operating system it's supposedly running. The processor listed under the hardware information is a budget chipset. The kind you'd expect to find in a phone costing 1/10 of the price, not a flagship. Let's test the cameras, because in my experience, this is always the tell. Same daylight shot, same subject, same lighting, same distance. Real phone. Sharp, accurate colors. Proper dynamic range between the shadows and the highlights. Exactly what you'd expect from a phone at this price. Fake phone, same shot, and it's noticeably soft, over-sharpened in this weird artificial halo-y way around every edge. Colors blown out, like it's desperately trying to fake that expensive phone look and just can't quite land it. And then, because I wanted a genuine stress test and not just a spec sheet comparison, I dropped both phones from exactly the same height onto exactly the same hard studio floor, completely unplanned, purely out of curiosity about the toughened glass claim on the fake one's listing. The real phone, a small scuff on the corner, screen completely intact, not even a hairline mark. The fake phone, A spiderweb crack straight across the entire display, because whatever glass that actually is, it is absolutely not the reinforced glass advertised in the listing. Verdict on the phone. Looks, 8 out of 10. Function, 2 out of 10. A phone that photographs beautifully sitting on a table and survives almost nothing once you actually live with it. Wireless earbuds, real pair flagship wireless earbuds, $249. Fake pair, $19. Bought from the exact same seller who sold me the phone case I'm going to show you a little later in this video. Visually genuinely impressive work here. Same case shape, same matte white finish, same tiny LED indicator in exactly the same spot, even the same little speaker grill cut into the bottom of the case. If I showed you a photo of just the closed case sitting on a table, I don't think most people watching this would catch it. Open the case up though, and it starts to unravel fast. The real buds have this really satisfying magnetic snap when you pull them out. You feel a tiny bit of resistance right before they release. The fake ones just slide out loosely. No magnet, no resistance whatsoever. The stems on the fake pair are also slightly thicker, maybe 2 millimeters or so, which sounds like nothing, but you genuinely feel it the second you put them in your ears for an extended period down test time. Same song, same volume. One bud from each pair, one in each ear, so I can compare them in real time rather than relying on memory. The real pair. Deep, controlled bass, properly balanced mids, and when I switch on noise cancellation, the room around me genuinely goes quiet in a way that's hard to describe until you've experienced it. The fake pair, thin, tinny, almost no low end at all, and I press the noise cancellation toggle on the case, and nothing happens. Genuinely nothing. It's a button that lights up and does absolutely nothing to the actual audio, and the battery claim is honestly the funniest part of this whole segment. Box says 30 hours of total battery life with the case. I put the fake case on charge for 2 hours, checked it, and it had already dropped to 40%. Verdict on the earbuds. Looks, 8 out of 10. Function, 3 out of 10. Charger and cable. This next one is genuinely the category that worries me the most out of everything on this entire table, and I want to spend a bit more time on it than the others because of that. Real 20-watt wall charger, purchased directly from the brand, and a fake one that cost me about $6 including shipping. They look almost identical sitting side by side, same size, same rounded shape, same little logo stamped into the white plastic. Though if you look really closely, and I mean really closely, the font on the fake one is very slightly heavier and slightly wider than it should be. It's the kind of difference you'd never notice unless you had the real one right next to it for comparison. Here's the actual problem, and this is the part that matters. I had an electronics engineer friend of mine open both of these chargers up for me before we started filming, because charger safety genuinely is not something I'm comfortable guessing about on camera. The real charger has proper internal insulation completely separating the live wiring from the outer casing, along with full safety certification stamped inside the shell. The fake one, when he opened it up, had almost no meaningful insulation between the live wire and the outer casing at all. And that's not a "the sound's a bit worse" kind of problem. That's a "this could genuinely start a fire or shock the person holding it" kind of problem. So, full transparency here, because I think it matters more than any of the jokes in this video. Do not buy fake chargers from anyone ever. Out of everything laid out on this table, this is the one category where the fake product isn't just worse. It's actually dangerous to have in your home. Same story. Smaller stakes, with the charging cable that came bundled with it. The real cable has a proper woven braid on the outer sheath and is rated for thousands of bend cycles before it fails. I bent the fake one back and forth roughly 40 times on camera, completely by hand, no tools involved, and you can already see thin strands of copper wire starting to poke through the cracked plastic jacket. Verdict on the charger and cable. Looks, 7 out of 10. Function and safety, 1 out of 10. Smartwatch. I genuinely didn't think anyone had managed to fake a proper smartwatch convincingly. I was wrong, and this one actually impressed me more than I expected going in. Real smartwatch, $429. Fake one. And this one's interesting because it isn't even attempting to run the real operating system underneath. It's running its own completely custom software, but the physical design is a dead ringer for the original. Same digital crown, same textured side button, same gently curved screen edge that catches the light the same way. Put them side by side on the wrist, and honestly, at a glance in a photo, from across a room, you genuinely would not know. Look closer though, and the fake screen resolution is noticeably lower. Text on the watch face looks a little bit fuzzy up close, though from 3 or 4 feet away it remains completely convincing. Function-wise though, it's an entirely different story. The real watch does full continuous heart rate tracking, blood oxygen monitoring, proper fitness tracking that actually syncs correctly with a companion health app on your phone, and full cellular connectivity so it works even without your phone nearby. The fake watch can tell the time reasonably accurately and count steps in a very rough, inaccurate way. I walked exactly 100 steps in a straight line, counting each one out loud on camera so there's no ambiguity. And it registered 340. Verdict on the smartwatch. Looks, 8 out of 10. Function, 2 out of 10. The gaming controller, real wireless controller, $69. Fake one, $14. From a listing that used the exact same official product photography as the real store, which honestly should probably not be allowed. Held in your hands, these feel closer together than I expected going in. Same general shape, same button layout, even a similar overall weight, thanks to what I'm fairly confident is some added internal ballast, presumably added specifically to fool exactly this kind of comparison video. The triggers on the real controller have proper adaptive resistance built in. You can genuinely feel varying tension depending on what's happening in whatever game you're playing. The fake triggers are just basic springs underneath the plastic. Same resistance every single time, no matter what's happening on screen. Connect both controllers to the same console back to back. The real controller pairs almost instantly. Inputs feel completely immediate. Zero noticeable lag between pressing a button and seeing it register. The fake controller took 4 separate attempts to even pair successfully, and once it finally did, there's a small but very noticeable input delay. Small enough that you might not consciously register it, but large enough that in anything fast-paced, competitive, or reaction-based, it is genuinely going to get you killed. Verdict on the controller. Looks, 7 out of 10. Function, 4 out of 10. TEF Bluetooth speaker, real portable speaker, $1 and $79, fully waterproof, rated for full submersion. Fake one, $25, advertising the exact same waterproof rating printed right there on the box. Physically, these are nearly identical. Same fabric mesh finish wrapped around the body, same rubberized buttons on top, similar overall weight in the hand. Play the exact same track on both, at the exact same volume level. Real speaker, full, balanced sound across the whole range, clear bass without any distortion even as you push the volume up. Fake speaker. Bass boosted to the point of muddiness right out of the gate, and once you get past around 60% volume, it starts crackling noticeably on anything with real bass content. And then, the actual moment of truth here, the waterproof claim printed on both boxes. I submerged both speakers in a bucket of water for exactly the rated time listed on the packaging, no more, no less. Real speaker comes back out, still playing the same track, completely unaffected by any of it. Fake speaker comes back out, and it's just dead. Doesn't turn back on at all, no matter how long I let it dry out afterward. Verdict on the speaker. Looks, 7 out of 10. Function, 3 out of 10. This is honestly the one I was most nervous to test, because a fake drone running fake flight electronics felt like it had genuine potential to actually be dangerous, not just disappointing. Real drone, $799, with proper obstacle avoidance and full flight stabilization built in. Fake one, and to be fair to the counterfeiters here, from about 10 feet away, this genuinely looks like a slightly scaled-down version of the real thing. Same folding arm design, similar camera gimbal housing underneath. Fly them both in the exact same open field back-to-back, same wind conditions. The real drone holds a rock-steady hover even with a light breeze pushing against it. GPS lock is instant the moment you take off, and the footage that comes back is smooth and properly stabilized. The fake drone drifts constantly, has essentially no meaningful GPS hold at all, and the footage it captured looks like it was filmed handheld during an earthquake. I also tested the advertised obstacle avoidance feature by flying both slowly toward the same tree from the same distance. The real drone detected it and stopped itself a couple of feet short automatically. The fake drone flew directly into the branches without slowing down at all. Thankfully survivable in this case, but genuinely not a great sign for anyone planning to fly one of these near actual people. Verdict on the drone. Looks, 6 out of 10. Function, 2 out of 10. Real standalone VR headset, $499. Fake one, marketed under a name that's suspiciously close to the original, with a logo that's just different enough to technically not be the same word, which feels like a very deliberate legal gray area. on your face, actually fairly close in terms of comfort and overall shape. Similar strap design, similar weight distribution. Put on the real headset and the tracking is instant and precise. And the display resolution is sharp enough that on-screen text is fully readable without any effort. Put on the fake headset, and there's an immediately visible screen door effect. You can genuinely see the gaps between individual pixels, and the head tracking has a noticeable lag to it, small but consistent, enough to genuinely make you feel a bit nauseous within a couple of minutes of wearing it. The hand controller tracking tells basically the same story. With the real headset, my hands show up exactly where they physically are in the real world. No drift, no lag. With the fake headset, there's a consistent few-inch offset between where my hands actually are and where they appear on screen, and it never fully goes away, no matter how many times I try to recalibrate it through the settings menu. Verdict on the VR headset. Looks 6 out of 10. Function 3 out of 10. Real action camera $349, rated for proper stabilized 4K footage even in fast motion. Fake 1, $45. Box claims nearly identical specifications, almost word for word copied from the real listing. Mounted side by side on the same helmet, filming the exact same bike ride down the exact same stretch of road. Real camera footage, smooth, properly stabilized, sharp detail retained even during fast motion. Fake camera footage, noticeably shaky despite the stabilization toggle being switched on in the settings, softer overall detail, and there's a constant faint background hiss on the audio track that simply isn't present at all on the real camera's footage. Verdict on the action camera. Looks 7 out of 10. Function 3 out of 10. Last item on the table. Real over-ear noise-canceling headphones $349. Fake pair, near identical box art $40 on your head. Close enough that you genuinely wouldn't clock the difference walking past someone wearing them on the street. The sound quality gap here is actually smaller than in most of the other categories today. The fake headphones are, surprisingly, genuinely listenable for casual use. Where it completely falls apart, though, is the noise cancellation itself, which is the entire reason you'd spend this kind of money in the first place. Real headphones. Airplane cabin-level background noise essentially disappears the moment you switch it on. Fake headphones. There's a very faint hum of some kind of processing happening, but the actual background noise around you remains almost entirely audible the whole time. Verdict on the headphones. Looks 8 out of 10. Function 5 out of 10. Genuinely the closest result out of the entire lineup today. So now, the part I promised right at the very start of this video. I laid out all 20 items, 10 real, 10 fake, across a long table, completely mixed up, 0 labels anywhere, and brought in 6 random people off the street to guess which side was which, category by category. The phone was the easiest one for almost everyone in the group. Most people picked up on the weight difference within a few seconds of holding both. The earbuds, on the other hand, tripped up nearly the entire group. 2 separate people confidently picked the fake pair as the real one, purely because, in their words, the case felt heavier, so it must be the nicer one. The smartwatch fooled 4 out of the 6 people completely, right up until they actually turned the screens on. And the charger, genuinely the single most dangerous item sitting on that entire table, fooled 5 out of 6 people, which is honestly the most unsettling result out of the whole video for me personally. Average score across all 6 participants, across all 10 categories, 5 out of 10 correct. Which means, on average, people got literally half of these completely wrong, just from looking at them and holding them in their hands. So, can you actually tell the difference between real and fake tech in 2026? Visually? In most of these categories, barely. These counterfeiters have gotten scarily good at nailing the exterior, the packaging, even the exact marketing language printed on the box. But the second any of these things actually has to do its job, play accurate sound, track your heart rate properly, survive a normal drop, fly in a straight line, or in the worst case, safely charge overnight next to your bed, nearly every single one of them falls apart. And with that charger specifically, falls apart honestly isn't even the right phrase for it. It's actually unsafe to own. So here's my actual genuine takeaway from spending an entire month buying and testing all of this. If a deal on a big-name piece of tech looks too good to be true, it is. Buy from the brand directly, or from an authorized retailer, full stop, every single time. Because gear that looks 90% right but only works 30% right isn't a bargain at all. It's just an expensive lesson with a few extra steps attached to it. If you want to see us run this exact same test on a completely different category next, Cameras, laptops, kitchen tech, whatever you're curious about, let me know down in the comments, and I will absolutely go find the best fakes money can buy.